What is the problem? Well, everyone is applying to a job with a portfolio. Everyone's portfolios suck. And the reason why they suck is because they look bad, their apps are underwhelming, and they cannot show that they have the right experience to get a job. And in this video, I'm gonna show you what to do to overcome that. Because if you do not overcome it, you'll have to go back to serving coffees at Starbucks or stacking shelves at Walmart. And I don't want you to do that. So let's get into it. What is a portfolio, or why do people use a portfolio? Well, people use a portfolio to show that they can walk the walk and talk the talk. Unfortunately, people's portfolios are doing more damage to their brand than to actually help them, because their portfolios look absolutely terrible. If you saw any of my portfolio reviews here on YouTube, you know exactly what I'm talking about. People who have value, right, developers that have a few years of experience, don't have a portfolio. Actually, very rarely you'll see a developer that has a portfolio, a personal website, if you may. When you put your personal projects on your resume, a recruiter, a hiring manager will see that, and they will automatically toss your resume into the bin. Try to understand that, okay? I know you might dislike it, or you might say that the world is unfair, but it is what it is, and we need to change our behavior to adapt to this new world that we are living in right now, okay? We cannot complain about it. I hope you understand that, right? And in order to counteract this problem that you are facing, and everyone is gonna be facing from now on, you need to build a product. And now you might be saying, Christian, how can I build a product when I'm a junior? I have no idea how to do that. Well, let me stop you there. First of all, don't say I cannot do something, because you can. You just don't know yet how, because you don't have the formula. And I'm gonna share with you the formula. It's actually super simple to apply. Everyone and anyone can learn as long as they are willing to do it. Here's what you do. There are 3 steps, 3 very important steps. They are all equally important, but if you have at least 1 or 2 out of these 3 steps, you'll be absolutely golden, okay? Trust me on that. The first thing is that you need to come up with a problem. Find the real problem and figure out a way on how to solve that problem using software. And now you might be saying, but I cannot find a problem. Now, if you do not have a problem that you can solve, maybe because you come from, I don't know, waiting tables or being a barista like me, and the only problem that you can find is how to get home faster so you can code or watch Netflix or whatever, don't worry, I got you covered. So do this. Go on Twitter and search for Building Public, Micro SaaS, SaaS, Acquire.com. That ecosystem of Twitter accounts are only talking about micro SaaS, SaaS, and products of that nature. SaaS means software as a service. So it's pretty much a software that has been built to solve a specific problem. So for example, Calendly is a software that allows other people to book a time in my calendar, and then it sends invites to my calendar and another person's calendar. That is a SaaS. It has a bunch of functionalities, analytics, and so on and so forth. But a micro SaaS would be just the booking of someone's time, if that makes sense, okay? So a micro SaaS is a slice of a bigger SaaS, if that makes sense. So find a SaaS or a micro SaaS that you really like, do some exploring, right? It's not gonna be easy, okay? But it should be fun, it should be interesting. You're gonna actually find out what you can actually build with software, and maybe you'll find your next, company that you'll be working for, if that makes sense. Once you find this product that you really like, you are going to make an account on Trello. If you don't know what Trello is like a project management software, and it's like a to-do app which has like columns, and you can name those columns however you want. To do, in progress, done. You can create as many columns as you want, and then in columns you'll have a bunch of tasks, and then you can move the tasks from column to column. And once you have this account on Trello, and once you decided that you want to try to build a specific SaaS that you found from your research, you'll start sniping out features. So I want you to set an alarm on your phone for like 1 hour. Put your phone down after you started the alarm. Start sniping out features. And I want you to write them down in that Trello, in that to-do column. So for example, you'll have create user. Boom, create user. create theme, boom, create theme. Change the theme color, change theme color. Add comments to some thingy in there, add comments. So you're gonna snipe out 50 features. I want you to do that, 50 features. The first 10, 15 will be very easy to find. As you can see, I can come up with them very quickly because every app has those. But then the other ones will have to be like slightly harder to find, okay? And that's gonna take you some time till you can detect them. But in this way, you actually learn this application, you learn the problem that this application is trying to solve, and then you can start replicating it. Feel free to take as many screenshots as possible. Maybe you can use something like Loom, which is a screen recording software where you can actually record how you are interacting with the app, so you can have a nice description for every single task that you need to recreate, if that makes sense, okay? So you do that, and once you have like 50 tasks, what you'll do is you'll start tagging them, like very important, important, and nice to have, okay? And the goal is to try to tackle as many of very important tasks that you have there that your app cannot survive without, if that makes sense. And then you start tackling the important ones and then nice to have. Now, as you are trying to build the skills, you start to realize that you don't know a bunch of things, and that's fine. And that's where you start to actually gain experience, because you will learn about charting libraries or about drag and drop libraries, etc., etc. That's when you start to grow, my friend, and it's not gonna be as easy as you're expecting it. I know it sounds hard. You're already thinking about giving up, but this is the process that you need to go through if you want to become a software developer. Because if you don't do it, someone else is gonna do it. And then you will be crying online that there are no jobs for junior developers. But I literally gave you the formula to come up with a sick project. Point number 2, it's all about the design, how your app looks like, how your app feels like. This is one of the most important parts. If your app is extremely functional, but nobody wants to interact with it because it looks like absolute trash, like it's been made in 2002, you will not be hired because your app doesn't look like a product. It looks like a backend developer did a front-end job, pretty much, you know what I mean? Maybe even worse than that. You want to get a front-end dev job, like the presentation and what people see is the most important thing. Like, this is something that I want you to really understand, okay? Digest this information and understand it, okay? Because recruiters will see your app, hiring managers will see your app, and they'll be like, no, this guy or this girl will not help us in any way, shape, or form. How do you go about having a great design? You have a few options. The first option is to learn design by yourself. Even though this would be the best thing because you'll add another skill to your tool belt, maybe you don't want to learn design or you don't have the time and it's not really the most efficient way to go about it. Then the next thing that you can do is to buy some sort of theme. You can buy a theme for like $100 and you can start to customize that theme, and that might work, okay? I've done that for my personal website. I've bought a theme and I customized it so it fits my needs. It's not the best design, but it's okay-ish, okay? And then the third option is to hire a designer from Fiverr, from Upwork. The more you pay, usually the better of a design you'll be getting. That's gonna cost you anywhere between $100 and $1,000, depending on the designer that you are going to use and how talented the designer is and how many features you wanna add and so on and so forth. And this shouldn't scare you, okay? This number shouldn't scare you. It's money that you're investing in yourself, okay? This application is gonna open the doors to a $100,000 a year or more job. Like, just think about it like that. You pay $1,000 and then if you do your job right, you're gonna get so much more out of it. Like 100x, like not even a crypto coin could give you that, if you think about it realistically speaking, yeah? So design is super important. Like, I would say that if your design is shit, no matter how complex and how much work you've put into your features, that won't matter because you haven't delivered the product. Like, the goal is not to write code. The goal is to create a product that solves a problem for a specific person, okay? I hope you understand this, yes? The next thing is to work with other developers. This is something that a lot of beginners tend to underestimate how important this is. When you're coding every single day by yourself, you are not replicating the reality of a software developer. A software developer deals with other developers with designers, with managers, with clients, with stakeholders, and you need to learn how to communicate with all these people and how to pace yourself, how to write code in such a way where everyone else can understand, okay? How to help other people, how to onboard other team members, how to estimate a task, right? Because a client or a stakeholder might want something and the stakeholder might say, I want this next week, and you have to say, based on my experience, this is not gonna take a week, this is gonna take a month, and you have to change this and this and this, and we need this type of person there, etc., right? And you can only get this type of experience by having experience working in a team. That's why I'm saying you should definitely be looking into this. Trust me, don't doubt me, this is gonna help you massively. That's how you learn Git, that's how you learn Jira, U-Track, Linear, whatever you are using to manage your project that you'll be creating, or Trello, because that's what we discussed in this video. This is gonna give you so much bang for a buck. And in fact, all these three things that I've mentioned here, these are the things that we are doing in my coaching program, okay? So whenever I'm giving you suggestions and telling you what you should do, feel free to listen to me or not, but at least try to think about if I'm right or not, okay? And I'm telling you this stuff from my experience of working with other people, right? And I'm pretty much looking at what is happening in the market, and I'm trying to give you the best advice that will help you right now, not last week. Because if you watch the advice from every other influencer, I guess it sounds a bit cringy when I say it, they will give you the advice I heard when I was learning code by myself in 2015, right? So 8 years ago. Well, that advice is not working anymore. And the thing is, it's not 3, 4, 5 times harder to do what I've told you compared with just making a bare bones portfolio like most people have. It's not 3 times, 5 times harder. It's just a bit harder, 1.2 times harder, because you need to think a little bit, right? And have a different approach. But if you have this different approach, you'll definitely stand out in this tough market. Because right now, coding is a tough market, drop shipping on TikTok is a hard market, SMMA is a hard market, trading crypto is a hard market. Every single thing that you want to do is oversaturated. So at least if you chose this path, for now at least, try to give it your best. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. Anyway, I'm gonna see you in the next video. If you want coaching and if you're a complete beginner, or if you have some experience in coding but you're not getting the results that you are looking for, or if you have some experience but you are not getting the results that you wanted, or if you like what I've just described to you and you want to apply this formula without having to go through the pains and the frustrations of finding the right project, getting the design done, etc., the team, etc., apply for a free consultation call. This is for you if you want to make good money as a developer, if being a developer and changing your career to software development is your main priority. And this is also for you if you want to work remotely. So if that's you, click the first link in the description, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.